Hey, good people, it's your man Shannon Casino. Thank you for tapping into another episode of Fifth Charge. Yes, we are back. I want to let you know real quick that if you haven't subscribed, make sure you guys go ahead and right off the back, subscribe. I'm moving kind of quick because I'm ready to get to it. Just want to speak to you guys about a few things and don't want to be before you long, but want to make sure that you guys stay connected. Make sure that you set your notifications so that we can stay connected. And you can also find me on all social media, Shannon Akeem. All right. We're no longer doing the Shannon Casino. I'm going to say this a few more times on a few other episodes going forward. I'm going to say it just until we get used to it, because even I had to get used to it. Sometimes God calls us into situations and positions to do things that we have to be obedient about, and we have to be swiftly obedient about. And when he gave me that, I think that was last year, actually it was. And he said, casino served its purpose in your life. And he said, let's get to a new level, a new walk with me, is what he was saying to me. And let casino be that sponge. It came and it soaked up memories and things that you've been through in your life. And we're just going to let casino just take all of that away. You are a new creation in me. And that's what I heard. I heard in my spirit right out at the lake. I was at a lake in South Carolina, and I remember that day. And it just came to me. It's like, you need to switch it up a little bit as far as the name goes. I used to make music, so Shannon Casino was the name when I was entertaining, I guess, or making music. But we have our plans for our lives and how we see it going and how we want it to work out. But God will somehow show us other plans and plans that he has for you, which he knows best, for he knows the plans that he has for you, to prosper you, to give you a future, give you a hope, and never to harm you. And that's, the standard in which I live by. I believe that, I trust that. And hopefully you trust that and you believe that too, because he does have a plan for you too. And you have to be obedient and swiftly be obedient. Many are called, few are chosen. And when he speaks to you, this is how he tests you, to see if you're going to move swiftly. And I moved swiftly. It was tough. It's hard sometimes, but move swiftly. And the more swift you move, I believe the quicker he gets to the purpose and the plan that he has for you. And you get to acknowledge it, you get to see it, and you grow into it. There's something about that. You grow into the purpose. When God calls you to do something, sometimes it's intimidating. The outfit of who he's calling you to be is a little bigger than what you're used to wearing. And sometimes it's good to be like that. When you was a kid, I don't know if you grew up like how I grew up, but sometimes my mom would buy us clothes that was a little bigger, because we went through a season in our lives where we was growing too fast. We was growing quick. 1 minute we're, a size small, and then before you know it, we're in medium boys, and it's like within a year's time. So she knows that, she's going to buy good clothes or good quality clothes, but she gets it a little bigger. So you grow into it. And it's the same thing that God does with us in different seasons of our lives. He might show you something and you go, ooh, that's a little too big for me. That's a little too big for me. That's intimidating. But if you give him a swift yes, giving God a swift yes, like, yes, God, I'm available. The answer is yes. I'm intimidated. I'm scared. He knows that you're intimidated. You're scared of that. But what he does know is that you will grow into what he had planned for you. And that's what it is. Anything worth having is worth fighting for. So you have to fight for it. You have to grow. You have to be obedient. You have to open your heart to the design, to what it is that God will have you do. And you have to know that. You have to know that he means well for you. Yeah. I hope somebody received that today. Grow into it and move swiftly. Move swiftly to grow into the plan that God has for your life. Yeah, guys, once again, thank you for tapping in, clicking the link, and joining me right here on YouTube on Fifth Charge. I want to I want to go ahead and, in the last few weeks, I know since June 19th it was that former President Barack Obama has opened up the presidential, library, and man, what an accomplishment. So I want to say right here from Fifth Charge, I want to say to former President Barack Obama, just congratulations that he did something that great and contributed back to the community in which he started his political career, and even his young family that he started with his wife Michelle. So he did that right there in the Chicago area, and I believe that the people there are proud of it and love it. I love it for Chicago. I love it for former President Barack Obama. I love that. I love that. And I love that it was well thought out, well planned, and that he also contributed to history once again by opening its grand opening day being on Juneteenth, which is June 19th. That's just awesome. That is just awesome. I don't care who you are. That is great for that community and for the entire Black community. Although he is the former president of the United States, he belongs to the history of America. But being that he was the first Black president, I'm proud to say that, that a man of his pedigree, a man of his intelligence, and just level of being just a leading man is just something proud to see. I'm proud to see something like that. I don't know what it means to a lot of you, but that means something to my heart. That means something to me stepping into leadership roles in my life. The husband that he is, the leader that he was to a nation, the father that he is, the great orator that he is. And let's keep it real. It's that swag. He's a brother. Okay. The swag is there. It never turns off. And he's real. He's real. And I believe that, even though he's a former president, it still shines that he cares about the people. Like sometimes a president can come out of the presidency and you don't hear from them, and they're not really as active as they was when they was president. But it seems to me he's still active, and not only him being active, his wife is active. Her podcast is awesome too, and she still does things in the community. They're reachable, and that's what's beautiful. Just reachable. And reachable for all people, but definitely reachable for the Black community. So I just want to congratulate the Obamas for what they did for the city of Chicago, and what they did for the community of Black folks in America. So I came on today because I wanted to speak to you guys a little bit about our journey with stepping into this faith of Christianity. And I want to say that it's not easy if you were a unbeliever, if you have been an unbeliever. It's not easy to make up your mind to do it, to just say, hey, listen, I'm gonna walk with God. Usually how we become believers is we come to a place where life showed us gave us enough time to go through things, and we go through things and we try things our way and it doesn't work out our way. And so what ends up happening is we say, we'll try Jesus. We'll try, a faith, which I believe is a smart thing to do. That you would at least step towards it. Because what I do know about God is if you take one step towards him, he will take two. He will come towards you as well. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, and I probably didn't segue that really good, but we're here now. The reason why I'm bringing that up, there's a show. There's a show on Stars, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. It's a show called Raising Kanan. 50 Cent, executive producer of this show, and it's called Raising Kanan. Really good show. I like it. I don't really get to watch too much TV, but it's one of the shows that I watch. And there was a scene in this show on the last episode. I believe it was the third episode of this last season. And there was a scene that happened between Rock and I don't want to be I don't want to spoil it, but I have to speak on this because of what I seen in the show, in the scene, in that scene particular that I'm getting ready to speak about. What I seen, what it made me feel, it gave me chills. It was very real, and the cinematography and the directing of this scene was so on point, and so spiritual that I had to rewind it to watch the scene again because it was so meaningful to me. So a little bit of a spoiler alert. And please go and watch it, not just because I'm speaking of this, but please go watch it. It's a good show. There was a scene where Rock and her brother Marvin, and there are, they're playing, gangster roles, streets, drug dealing, all of this going on. But there was a scene in it that just really, really caught my attention. So there's a scene with Rock and her brother Marvin. Their other brother was ended up getting murdered, right? Or getting, he got hurt, right? And so what ends up happening is the brother was looking for the person who hurt his brother, right? He hurt his brother. And so he gets to Rock's house, his sister Rock, in which he works for. He gets to her house where her other brother was hurt. And he's there, and he's in a room, and he says he was talking to her. In one scene, he's talking to her, and she knew what happened, but he didn't. And so she said, "Let's go in the other room." And he said, "No, I don't want to go in the other room. I want to stay right here." And so, they sat there. That was in one scene. But then the scene that I'm talking about at the end, they was in the kitchen. And in this scene, he looked through the door. While he was asking her a question. He asked Rock a question. He said, "Do you believe in God?" Now, this is a man that is a gangster. Here's a man who is confused. He is looking for whoever it is that hurt his brother, and he's going to get revenge, right? And he's broken that his brother mysteriously got hurt, right? And so he goes, "Do you believe in God?" And she goes, "I don't know." And there's a lot of people around us that they don't even know if they believe in God or not. They're just not open to receive it. And so what ends up happening is they have this conversation, and one of the lines that they say, and I'm speaking like this because I'm trying to go around it without saying, giving away too much. But here's what it is. This is what got me. After he asked her if she believed in God, and she said no, she says to him, skipping all the conversation, this is what the point was. She said, "You get so hurt, you're so in your feelings that you start reaching for things that aren't true." But here's where I got chills. This is a man who they don't really have, they're not really walking with God. You can see that they wasn't really raised in the church. As myself, wasn't really raised in the church, was around the church and church people, but I wasn't really raised in the church. Sung in the choir for a little while, but wasn't really raised in the church. So after she said that, you start reaching for things that aren't true. It was kind of like her saying that this God stuff is not true. You're just in your emotions. But he turned to her and said, or you can come to the end of your ropes and now you find out the truth. You come to the end and you find the truth. And that made my spirit leap. I said, glory to God. That without him being raised in the church, without him being around that energy of what the church is, the conversation, the lingo of church and things, he was already preaching. That man preached. He said, or you can come to the end and you find the truth. Because why my spirit leaped is because that's usually how people find God. As I said before, they run out of ways. They run out of ways doing it themselves, trying to control things and make things turn out the way that they want it to be, but they fail at it and they fail at it again. They try it another way and they fail it. They fail. And then they have no other choice but to turn to the truth and the righteousness that he is. When he said that, he spoke and said, it was like he was saying to her, it's like you feel something, you know something, but you don't know. And this is why I believe that this scene needs an Emmy, because the way they caught this scene, it just spiritually, it just touched me. He looked into the other room from the kitchen and the camera caught him looking, and it was from the room where his brother was assaulted. And he's like, something's there. It's like, you know, but you don't know. And it was like he knew something had the way, I mean, it's all acting, but he knew something was going on, that something went on there. But because it was his family, he just couldn't see his family doing something like that. So he never put them on the radar, but he knew something was going on. And I would like to just know from some of you guys, have you ever been in situations where you go places and you have gotten that feeling like, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be in this club right now. I know we usually come over here and we drink and we smoke and we do this and we do that, but I'm not supposed to be here. I don't know exactly what else I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't feel like I belong here. And I believe that that's how most of us find God. And I'll speak from my own testimony. I ran from God for years. And then I got to a place where the running became torment unto myself. I began to torment myself running from his graciousness, from his goodness, from his love, from his kindness, from his intelligence, from his wisdom, everything that he wanted to teach me, everything that led me up to this moment right here, you listening to me speak. On your phone, on your TV, sitting in your car, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, at the restaurant, in the waiting room. I ran from God for so long. and it began to torment. I began to torment myself in the process. You ever see those horror movies and a monster come out and the woman starts running and she'll be running so hard, she's hurting herself more than anyone else. She's so scared. She's running into walls. She done bumped her head. She done fell again and all of that. That's what it was like. Meanwhile, I ran even harder when I knew what I was running from was God. Because I felt like if I let him get me, then life's gonna be hard. Not realizing that you're making it hard by running. He said in Jeremiah 29:11 to never harm you. That's how you know right there. He wasn't trying to harm you. He was trying to give you a hope. He was trying to show you what was best for you, because you're hurting yourself going that way, going this way, going their way, instead of going the way that he specifically designed for you. And that's what I did. Life is lived forward, understood backwards. So I realize now, man, when I was in that situation, he was calling me then. When I was in this situation, he was calling me then. Why must we be so hard-headed? And I was. And chances are God is calling you right now. And the question remains, why are you being so hard-headed? And why don't you have a swift, obedient, open-hearted yes for God right now? Just look around at your situation. You've tried everything your way. And look at everything in your life that is not, it doesn't seem like it's working out, and you're just working way too hard at it. Like if you got into a place in your life where you say, it shouldn't be this hard. Man, this shouldn't be this hard. It's time to pull yourself to the truth. Because just like Marvin in Raising Canaan, what he was saying in Raising Canaan, what he was saying is, you go to the end and you actually find the truth. And I would say, take this right now, what I'm saying right now. This is the confirmation that you have been looking for and waiting for. It's time. The truth is before you. Right here, right now. Stop running. Stop running. It's time to submerge into the yes for God. It's time now. How much longer are you going to run? What else are you going to hurt trying to get to where you're trying to go that has already shown you that it's not going to work that way? As I said before, I was in music, and I tried everything to get into the music industry, and got some, got in, came out, got in again, came out. And I was trying to stay in the music industry. And I realize now that's not what God wanted me to do. Because just because you know how to do it doesn't mean it's the calling on your life. Just because you know how to do something and it looks professional, sounds good, people like it, right? Doesn't mean it's the call on your life. Let's try that thing that God created you for. That's the thing that you are to do. And it will never feel like work. It shall never feel like work, but feel like, yeah, I'm in the pocket now. There's so much that God has for you once you say yes to his truth and his righteousness. Oh yeah. He's been looking for you. He's been looking for you. Here's what's just amazing to me. You knew that, and you know that right now. He's been looking for you. He's been calling your name. Where you at? Where you at, Joe? Where you at? Yeah. Yeah. You have come to the end. You have come to the end of everything, of all you know how to do to get to where you was trying to go. And you have come to the end. You have ran out of thoughts and ideas of how to do this thing. And it's time to bring yourself to the feet of Jesus Christ and let him guide you. Because here's the thing. On the flip side of that, you could be in the right ballpark. You could be right you're on the right path, right? But you're not making progress with it. Because there's something in you that may need to be developed. That's not quite developed. There's something that you need to add on to your repertoire that you don't have. And that you might need to get into the presence of God to find out what that is. Maybe you want it so bad that you have now started to idolize what it is that you want. And because God already had called you before you was in your mother's womb, and he knows who you are, he doesn't want anything to be a God before him, not even you. And that thought that you have about how you see life going can sometimes be an idolization. And before God, that angers him, that can cause a jealousy. Yeah. Sometimes being in relationships are like that too. You know, there's some people that will get with you while you're broken, and then you'll start changing your life and you'll answer the call that you want to start to change your life. But then the person that you're with, they'll start thinking that you're becoming a better person because of them. And then sometimes God can break that relationship up because he don't like that. Whenever you're in relationships or in situations and connections with people where they feel like you're becoming better because of them, you might need to rethink that relationship. When I pray, I say in my prayers, no God before you, no God after you, no God neither side of you. You are God all alone and by yourself. And I come to you for my all. I will do the work that you tell me to do with my hands, and I shall do it. And I will do it. But God showed me you should not depend on another man, another person, another woman to open the door for you. Because the person that opens the door for you is your God.